Hi, welcome to Barb's Kitchen Center. My name is Celeste and this is my test kitchen. Today we're going to try out what's going to become a new Christmas classic, I promise you. We are going to try the Bernard Callebaut turtle cookie recipe. So again, this is a very chefy recipe, so everything's done by weight. So we've got our handy dandy scale out and away we go. So the first thing we need to do is cream together the butter, the sugar, the eggs, and the vanilla in a mixer with paddles. So when we're using cookie paddles, because this is going to be a fairly stiff dough, and we do not want to mess up our wire whisks. And again, I always forget my knife. The butter is super soft, so I really don't have to do this step. I just don't like to throw a whole pound, or in this case, a half pound of butter into my mixer all at one time. So I like to break it up into smaller pieces. So, turning it on. The recipe calls for 256 grams. This is 250 grams. I'm going to go with that. Go. Butter, and okay, I'm going to use this. So when you're using a scale and you're measuring ingredients into something, try to find the lightest thing you can find. This is actually the cover for that. And then you need to zero your scale, because instead of doing all of the math to subtract how much this weighs from the ingredients, just zero your scale, which will reset. She says there we go, now our scale will zero. Usually it's a power button or it's a button on your scale called Tare, T-A-R-E. So I need 170 grams of brown sugar. So we'll continue to let my butter. We also need 170 grams of white sugar. I have just shut off the mixer so that I can scrape the butter off the sides. And remembering that I live in Alberta, and things tend to be a little drier here, I am going to hopefully find, of course not, what was that? Nope. Just a wee bit more butter to add to it. Again, we live in Alberta, it's very dry, and with all of this sugar, it would make the cookie very crispy, which is okay if you like a crispy cookie. I personally like a soft and chewy cookie. So I'm going to add a little bit more butter because I forgot to take out a tablespoon of sugar, and it's a little late to do that now. So there we go. And now I need to add in the eggs. The recipe calls for 105 grams of eggs. And if you're working in a commercial kitchen, you pour your eggs out of a carton. We are not in a commercial kitchen. We are in my test kitchen. So we are going to, I'll weigh them, but I'm not going to open a third egg if it's light, but I'm guessing it's about 2 eggs. So, yep, 49 grams. And I am, yeah, so I'm at 100 grams of eggs. I am going to call that good because if I add a third egg, that is going to be way too much egg. There we go. All right, now I need to sift in my dry ingredients. So that's going to be 170 grams of cake flour. Again, I will use a plastic measuring cup on my scale. I will tare my scale again. Come on, oh there. If you hit the scale in the right spot, it will actually tare for you. And so 370 grams of bread flour. And of course I'm going to be just a bit shy, so I will grab some more flour. There we go. And also at this point you need to add your salt. So it says 5 grams. I'm going to go with a teaspoon. And my baking soda. All right. And we will mix it all together. And I will add it to my eggs and butter mixture. There we go. It is just mixed. We have the haze of flour. Makes you feel very ethereal. And what would a turtle be without pecans and butterscotch or caramel? Oh, I did not grab the caramel chips. I'm going to go grab the caramel chips. All right. So you absolutely cannot have a turtle without pecans and caramel. So we have these fabulous sea salt and caramel chips that I'm going to add, and I also have the Haribo chocolate chips that I'm going to add. And come on. Don't you hate it when stores put on these silly ties that either come undone all too easily or won't come undone easily enough? There we go. And so we need 200 grams of chips altogether. So again, I will put my measure on here. I will make sure it's tared. And whoop, a few too many. Come on, so we need to come out. A few more. There we go. And a few of these guys to get us to 200 grams. And 150 grams of pecans. So I'm using the pecan pieces. You could put this in, make up your cookies, and put a pecan on every cookie if you wanted. But I will incorporate them in because the first time I try a recipe, I like to do it exactly as the recipe says the first time, and then you can do anything you want after that. Because as I was reading the recipe, I was thinking it'd be really fabulous to do all of this, and then once the cookies are done, put another pecan on it, a little bit of caramel, like Pete's caramel, like this caramel toffee, and dip the whole thing in chocolate. But we'll try that another day. All right. In they all go. You want them incorporated a little bit, but you don't want to beat the tar out of your cookies. So then you get out your cookie sheet. And you can actually use a sheet pan, or you can use this, which is an actual literal cookie sheet. I will spray it. Get my cookie scoop. So if you're making these for friends and family and you want them to look fairly consistent, I use a cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop. You can get them in different sizes. So you can make them as big or as small as you want. And there we go. Get the cookie paddles out. Get all of the yumminess off the cookie paddles. There we go. All right. All right, now we are ready to scoop our cookies onto our tray. So for this recipe, we are going to preheat our oven to 320 degrees. There we go. And, ooh, these are going to be fairly large cookies, but everybody loves a turtle. And I just want to assure everybody that no turtles were harmed in the making of this video. We're producing our own turtles. Ha ha ha. Can't even make the camera guy laugh today. That's no fun. All right. So, well, I know it is so exciting to watch me scoop cookies. I will. So you can do them like this. They're going to spread out. So I like to sort of mush them down with a fork a little bit, just so you don't get like a super big lump of raw dough in the middle. This makes them a more consistent density all the way through. And that is going to be important when you're baking them, because you want them to be fairly consistently dense, so your baking time is fairly consistent across the board. All right, so the first dozen is ready to go into the oven. All right, I've scooped out about 2.5 dozen cookies. My oven has just buzzed to let me know that it's at 320 degrees. So I used a fairly large scoop. If you used a smaller scoop, you'd probably still get, or you wouldn't probably, you would indeed get lovely cookies, but you could get up to 6 dozen cookies out of this recipe. So into the oven we go for 12 to 15 minutes, but I'm going to set my timer for 10 because I always like to check. And starting the timer. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes have passed. I will check on the cookies. They look pretty good. Ooh. And they look rather large, so here we go. Turtle cookies, a new Christmas classic.